Ebrom9. Today's review is the Hubsan X4 Quadcopter. I've been meaning to review this puppy for a while, and I've actually gained some flight footage way before I've started this segment. And what this is a small little quadcopter that is actually really good. Yes, that gets the main point of the review underway. So what we have here is the Hubsan X4. It, with of course its controller. So what are some of the basic functions? What do you get in the box? Well, the standard model will cost you about 40 quid. You get the controller, you get the unit, you don't get these prop guards. Some of the stuff you get in with it is of course standard stuff like the charger, which is a USB doohickey. It takes about 40 minutes to charge it. 4 sets of spare blades, and of course a battery, because you're not going anywhere without it, and of course instructions, which are actually very good, very consistent, and actually really good at explaining what the hell everything is. Especially considering this is my first quadcopter. And so, we move on to the controller. Unfortunately for some of your more veteran RC guys and girls out there, this uses a proprietary protocol, so in order to get it to work with other transmitters, you will have to reverse engineer and hack this. It's not impossible, but it means it's a lot more lengthy procedure, so if you want to use this with your standard transmitters you use as a general rule, you're not going to do it unless you're willing to put in some time to reverse engineer a whole communications protocol. It uses the 2.4 GHz spectrum, and it's actually really quite a nice controller. It's very much like something very familiar to what I use all the time, aka standard gaming gamepad, only you're missing most of the buttons and you're just dealing with the analog sticks, which are actually really nice. Nice clicky buttons, LCD, which gives you some basic status information. In fact, we can show you these sort of stuff we get. Now generally it's best to turn on the controller before you turn on the quadcopter. And then of course the sync. When it beeps, and you can adjust your yaw, your pitch, your ailerons and whatnot with these, and it'll give you 100% bar graph, tells you the battery level. It's not going to give you a huge amount of information, but it gives you enough to be useful. And of course, when you click this down, you go into expert mode, which is where you can start pitching the quadcopter into start going into more steep vertical slants and get it to do flips. This one you can't really get away with doing flips indoors unless you're doing it in a really humongous building, you know, the kind that you'd store a blimp in or something. But generally outside is fine. You know, you got pretty decent amount of height, more height than you can go. Range. I have not found the range limit to this device. It can fly way beyond your vision of sight, and this is the type of thing that you're not really going to fly out of line of sight. You're not going to like fly 5 miles away, even if you do attach your own FPV, and I've actually got a whole bunch of bits in the post, so I can build an FPV kit for this and fly around FPV. Attach a monitor to the controller, hey presto. Now this is your standard accelerate, then of course you got your yaw, and then your standard sort of up, down, left, right movement. Because it's a quadcopter, you don't necessarily need to use your yaw that much, except to align it into a reference point that you can then work from to control it. Hit the trigger and it'll go wherever you want. I will usually keep the back pointing towards myself, but that's how I prefer to fly. It's what makes more sense to me. Otherwise you can end up with it behaving in an unpredictable way. So that's the controller. Very very good controller. One note of disappointment I must add, these spiky bits, not very comfortable. I'm more of a fan of what I'm familiar with. But it turns to be a recurring theme on RC controllers, so you can always file or Dremel these down or epoxy some more comfortable finger grips to it if you really want to, which I'm yet to do. Other than that, really good controller. I've only had one dropout, which was surprisingly when the thing was not far above my head. That was an unknown cause, but it runs on the 2.4 GHz spectrum, which is one of the free spectrums, which means, yeah, you're going to be more susceptible to noise and interference from people's Wi-Fi and whatnot. Although I have not had a problem, and I'm someone who has a lot of computer equipment running in the house. So, how much does this beastie weigh? Well, I'm going to include the blade guards in this measurement, even though it's not what officially comes with it, it's an optional extra. Just because it's a bit of effort to take them off. You have to remove all the blades and then you have to pull it off, put the blades on, yeah. So, we will use our scales we brought today. The weight without the battery is a fantastic 32 grams. With the battery installed, you're looking at about 40 grams, and if we actually put it in the quadcopter to get rid of any surface discrepancies, we're actually at 40 grams, so yeah. So yeah, you've got a pretty nice weight ratio. And I haven't really been able to test its low carrying capacity, but it can successfully carry, say, a Lego Ninja who weighs 4 grams, although there is a noticeable performance decrease, which you will notice, especially when the battery gets low, when this thing starts flashing. The other, there are two things that are worth getting lots of, and that is, grab yourself a whole load of spare rotors, because you will crash into things and they will get broken, fly off and get lost. And also pick up the spare motors, because these DC motors, if you're using this thing quite a lot, will not last an amazing amount of time. At the end of the day, they're DC brushed motors. The carbon brush contacts wear out. This unit I have actually replaced all the motors in now. But not all the rotors, mostly it's the back two which have failed, which have all been replaced since. And that is all for the standard thing. So now we get on to the flight videos. Right, I can only assume that's actually recording, so there's our quadcopter about to go for takeoff. We're not getting to expert mode. And so we actually have some pretty good manoeuvrability with this. We can even disable flip if we press that one. And no matter what we do, we can't flip, which is actually... Oh god, no, we're not losing it, are we? Good. I almost lost this, you see. It got caught in the wind when I took it up too high. I can make it crash though. That's quite easy to make it crash. And we can also fly it around in circles, and it has quite a considerable top speed. The only thing is, as stock it comes with a 250 milliamp hour battery, which is not a lot to play with. It gives you about 5 minutes. And that's all well and good. It's great fun. You know, as you can see, you've got a lot of manoeuvrability. you can get it to do quite a lot of stunts and type stuff, if you've got the skill to fly it, of course, stunting. Whoa, look at those military jets over there. Do you reckon it could outrun those? I somewhat doubt it. The horse gets a bit spooked because the gypsies have once again shown their animal cruelty that they're quite often responsible for towards horses, which is something that very much rats me off. And yeah, it's a pretty good flyer actually. It's awesome fun. The only real note of disappointment is that I must add is you may be able to pick it up on the camera, but that high-pitched whine that comes out from the inverters for the motors, yeah, that is a little annoying. Thankfully it's not loud enough to hurt my ears, but still a little bit annoying, not gonna lie. Oh, crash. I haven't flown it yet without crashing it, so that's pretty standard, but yeah, that should do for a bit of a demonstration of flight. I'm going to play with it properly now and enjoy myself. Right, was this thing recording? Indeed it was. Excellent. I know the Mobius well. Brilliant little thing it is.
Do I have to carry on holding it?
Hang on, are you recording?
Yes, I'm recording.
Is it? Let me see. Yes, good. There you go, try and keep the little quadcopter in shot. Hopefully the blade won't fly off anymore. No, crap.
I've lost it, where is it?
He's a bit concerned about it. No, forward.
Where is it? I've lost it. I can't see
You
it.
see it on the screen.
Well, I can't see it on the screen.
Just look for my head and then you can find it as a reference.
We keep buzzing all over the shop.
It's difficult to keep sense of. That's it. Where's it going?
Get a bit of Todd action in it.
Oh what? Try and get the dog to go. Don't fly into the house or the tree. This is only an easy to use mode as well. No wind, no!
Oh no!
Bloody wind. Right, where is it? I can't see.